India are rich with history, culture, and empires that span thousands of years. But among all its rulers, there is one man whose rise to power remains a story of resilience, strategic brilliance, and sheer willpower, a man who conquered the mighty land of India with just 20,000 soldiers. His name was Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. Imagine this, you're a prince born in the heart of Central Asia, far away from the bustling land of India. Your kingdom is small, but your ambition? It's enormous. This is the story of Babur, a young ruler who would soon change the course of history not by birthright alone, but by the power of his unyielding will and strategic genius. Born in 1483, Babur was the grandson of the legendary Timur, the Turco-Mongol conqueror. His father died when he was just 12, and Babur was left to inherit the kingdom of Fergana, a landlocked and relatively small area in the mountains. But his dreams were far bigger than his inheritance. At just 12 years old, Babur became king. Imagine being thrust into such a position at such a young age, fighting not only against rival kingdoms but also facing the internal challenge of proving yourself. Babur's early years were marked by hardship, losing one kingdom after another, fighting not just wars but the very forces of fate. After years of struggle, Babur finally set his eyes on India, an enormous land of riches, culture, and opportunity. But there was a problem: Babur had no grand army. His forces were just 20,000 soldiers, many of them not even full-time warriors. And here was his challenge: the kingdoms of India were powerful, rich, and heavily fortified. He was going to need more than just soldiers, he would need strategy. In 1526, Babur faced his greatest test at the First Battle of Panipat. His opponent, Ibrahim Lodi, was the Sultan of Delhi and commanded an army of over 100,000 soldiers, almost 5 times the size of Babur's force. On paper, it seemed impossible for Babur to win. But Babur had a secret weapon: his brilliant use of military tactics, especially his experience with the battlefield techniques inherited from his Timurid ancestors. Babur didn't just rely on brute force, he used the concept of tulgama, a tactic where his soldiers would retreat in a way that tricked the enemy into thinking they were losing, only to ambush them later. Babur also brought with him something that was far ahead of its time: artillery. Guns and cannons that shook the very foundations of Indian warfare. As Babur's forces faced the mighty Lodi army, the battle raged on. Despite being outnumbered, Babur's tactical genius shone. His artillery made an enormous impact, causing havoc in the Lodi ranks. But it wasn't just the guns, it was Babur's ability to anticipate every move of his enemy. The battle was hard-fought, but by the end of it, Babur emerged victorious. He had conquered the Delhi Sultanate with only 20,000 soldiers. The Battle of Panipat was a turning point in history. Babur's victory established the Mughal Empire, one of the most powerful empires in the world at the time. But this victory wasn't just about numbers, it was about the mastery of strategy, innovation, and leadership. Babur's victory didn't just open the gates of India to the Mughals. It laid the foundation for one of the greatest empires in history. Though Babur's reign in India lasted only 4 years before his death in 1530, his legacy lived on through his descendants, most famously his grandson Akbar the Great, who expanded the Mughal Empire to unimaginable heights. Babur's story isn't just about a battle won or an empire built, it's about the indomitable spirit of leadership. He was a ruler who faced insurmountable odds but never gave up. His story teaches us that greatness is not determined by the size of an army, but by the size of one's vision and the courage to pursue it. So, the next time you hear about the Mughals, remember Babur. Not just as a conqueror, but as a visionary who, with only 20,000 soldiers, changed the destiny of a nation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell us, what other stories from history do you want to hear? Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past.